Vidasara to all of you. Sorry for being late. Actually, I was trying to log in, but somehow I forgot my credentials. So, okay, let's see where does it go? Go to launcher, go to here. Can I be granted the source screen rights? Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll start with today's content. Today's topic will be very light, and we'll do some exercise as well. Let me share my screen. Let me know if you're able to see it. Screen to. Are you able to see my screen now? Okay, fine. So let's see. Attendees, I see 6 only in the class. Have they all joined in, or people are still joining in? Our session is getting recorded. We can get started so that I can cover the content. So today's session is all about, we'll study two types of functions, system function that is available so that you can actually do a lot of exercise starting this. And I have given a lot of exercise that actually needed the knowledge of this pre-handed. I'm sure that you have done some part of it by yourself, but then today we'll officially cover the function side, the system function side of the business. So we'll today study the scalar system defined scalar function. Do remember I'm not going to talk about the scalar function because anyways we'll do the scalar system function. I will say system function is the better word, not the scalar function. Okay. We'll study about the system functions and then aggregate function. Yesterday we did see some of the conditions, like we did find max, but today we'll go extensive and figure out what are the aggregate functions available and how do you find where it is available, how to leverage all of them. These are some of the scalar system defined scalar function available in SQL Server. They have certain purpose. We'll study each of the function, and we'll also see some of the other aggregate, some of the system function that is also there available inside SQL Server, preloaded for you for your computational purposes. So we'll start with that. We'll get started with the scalar function. Do remember, a scalar function is a function that returns a singular value. Scalar function is a function that might take multiple input but returns a singular value. That is what is known as a scalar function. And SQL Server is preloaded with lot of scalar function. Let us find out where can you find all this scalar function preloaded. I'm saying SQL Server is preloaded with a lot of scalar function, right? When I say that, that means by default when we install the SQL Server, it should have all the SQL function loaded in that, right? In case I have to figure it out, how do I find? Go to your custom database, whatever database you have created for your study purpose, you go into that. Once you enter into that particular thing, go into the programmability. Can you see one node known as programmability here? Within the programmability node, you will go to the functions. Within the function, you will find system function. Okay. Can you see? These are the two things today we are going to study, and scalar valued function and table valued function will come in the session number 16. Okay, maybe each session or seven session from now you will study what these two functions are. We'll complete the system function and the aggregate function today. What did I say? Typically, a system function is a kind of scalar function that might take multiple input but return only one output. Okay. Say for an example, this is what the example today will study. Our example would be, I want to do this. I want to say display apple in, there is a variable. Okay, I will not go into the variable. I will say there is a value known as apple in uppercase. I want to make the value to lowercase. How do I do that? There may be a lot of situation where you are reading content from the file system or the data is preloaded within a table. But when you want to display that particular data, the data may be in different casing, right? It may be in camel casing, some upper, some lower, all upper, right? You want to actually display all the data in an uppercase. What is the way to display that? Do you remember? In those condition, whenever you want to play around with the data, depending upon your need, SQL has given you a lot of system function, okay? And system functions are categorized into multiple category. We are not going to study all this category today, but I will show you what are the most frequently used functions across. But then depending upon your business need, you can come and solve certain problem by looking at this particular data set, right? Whenever we'll start with the string function. String function are the maximum frequently used function, system function in SQL Server. Okay, so we'll try to cover at least all the system function from the string and some system function from the maths. Say for an example, my ambition is to make all the data feed on whatever data that I have in the table into the uppercase or the lowercase. How I can do that? There is a function available known as upper. Can you see this particular function upper here? Upper. Upper function takes input of either string value or a column, either a string value or a column, and then it converts all the case into the uppercase. Okay. If you do all these things into the lowercase, say for an example, you will pass a lowercase apple, it should convert the lowercase apple to a uppercase apple. Can you see that? You are passing lowercase apple, but the output coming out of the uppercase function is upper. Okay, this is again, do remember, it is a scalar valued system function. And what type of system function? String function. It is a scalar valued string function. Okay, what is the purpose? In case you want to make any string to the uppercase, you have to use the upper as a function. Okay, now while I'm giving you an example, you have to start practicing. I hope that you have your SQL handy and you are listening to that. The question is, show me a query that should display all the pet name into uppercase. Uh, Write down that particular query, paste in the chart window. I want to see that how are you getting the thing. Write a query to display all the pet name in uppercase from the pet table. Anybody could do it? What I want to display, I want to display all the pet name into uppercase. How do I do that? Yes, that's a correct. No, that's select upper pet name. This is the right answer. Sandhya, this is the right answer. This is the right answer. Your column name is pet name. Always try to make sure that your column is right sensitive. Okay. If your P is uppercase, then always go for P uppercase. Okay. Pet name. It is good to abide by the column naming convention. In that way, at least we are not messing with the syntaxes. And the table name is pets and P capital. And I always recommended Sandhya. So you wrote something which is going to yield a result, but it is not proper. You know, you have not written select in uppercase. You should have written select in uppercase. You should have written from in the uppercase, right? Always go by the syntax. If you join a company and start writing this, you will get a lot of code review comment. Okay, that doesn't look good. So always make sure all the keywords in uppercase. Okay, can you see? If you pass all the upper function upper and then no space is needed, upper and the pet name to the function, and you will get this particular result. Okay, Sandhya? Kalyan, select upper pet name from table. That is correct. Okay, next question. Can you lowercase all the pet name from the pets table? There is a function available known as lower function here. You can leverage that. Can somebody do that? Lowercase all the pet name from the pet table quickly. What would be the signature? Same carbon copy, paste. Instead of upper, you will do the lower. Okay, Control Shift U, execute. All the pet name in the lowercase. Can you see that? Even the same, the instead of upper, if I will pass lowercase the value, it will lowercase all the capital letter to the if I will do this lowercase here and make the apple uppercase, then the result will come as the apple lowercase. Is that correct? The lower function does that. Okay. There is, say for an example, I want to know the length of a particular string. How do I measure the length of a particular string? Select length of a particular string. So there is a function known as len, and length function accept a string. So I would say my name is ABCD. What is the total length of the string? You can count it out, right? Count it out. 2 plus 1 plus 4, 3 plus 4, 7, 8, 10, 11, 4, 15. But if you use the alien function in SQL, in MySQL and other, there is a length function. In SQL Server, it is the alien function, short version of the length, length. Instead of length, it is saying len. So if you see, it is giving me the 15 character string length. Okay. If you want to figure out, if you want to figure out, you want to say that replicate a particular string per multiple times. Say for an example, I want to say select replicate a 5 times. You want to do that. I want to return 5 times a. How do I do that? There is a function known as available replicate, and it takes input as the character that you want to replicate and how many times you want to replicate. Can you see a came as 5 times replicated? If you say 10 times, 10 times a will be replicated. Clear about this particular function? Replicate means what? Replicate will take the first parameter as the string that you want to replicate and number of times you want to replicate. If you want to say replicate AB 10 times, it will do replicate AB 10 times. Can you see that? AB, 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 that pattern, it is not only single character, it can be a string as well. It can replicate the string n number of time. ABC, ABC pattern is replicated 10 times. Clear about that? The replicate function does that. Now, say for an example, there are some space in between the string, right? In a string, there is a space available, and you want to take out the space from the string. How do you do that? There are two methods available. One is known as a there are actually three methods available to trim the spaces. Okay, one method is known as ltrim. Do remember, ltrim function stands for left trimming, left side trim. Okay, ltrim. If I want to trim the space from the left side of the string, say for an example, there are some spaces and I'm saying apple. If I want to left trim the string, then first, before doing that as well, let us understand what does it do. Okay, select the length of this particular string. If I want to say, select the length of this particular string. What is the length of apple? Length of string. You are thinking that the length of string would come as 5 because apple is actually 5 character, right? But ideally, how much character came out? 9. Why? Because there are some space appended to the string, and every space is counted as a 1 character. Okay, so apple is 5 character and there are 4 space feed. That is where the length of the apple is coming as 4. But if you want to use ltrim, what it will do, it will trim out all the space from the left side of the string. It will compute any continuous character spaces. It will compute all the continuous character spaces from the left side of the string and it will eliminate them out. Okay. So if you do this select ltrim, what will come out? The apple will come out. If you see, now if you see writing select length of apple. Can you see that? I copy pasted the value that is coming out of the ltrim function. Can you see? I I executed ltrim, then this is the value came out. I copied and then I pasted here. No space, right? The space from the left is taken out. So ltrim function takes out the space from the left. There is another way you can test it out. Can you pass length function to the ltrim function? Right? We have seen the we can do that also. We can do the function chaining. Let's see. select length of LTrim function. That means I want to eliminate the space from the apple keyword, and then I want to measure the total length. I know the length of the apple with space is 9 character. Is that understanding correct? Length of apple with space is 9 character. But if I apply LTrim, I am assuming that space from the left of the apple will be eliminated out. That means only apple will be there. So if that is the case, then there will be only 5 character left. So if I apply a length to the LTrim function, it will give me 5 character space. Are you getting this particular concept right? That is the similar way you can do the exercise for the rtrim function. Ltrim trims out the data from the left side of the string. Rtrim trims out the data from the right side of the string. Instead of trimming the data from the left side, I want to trim the data from the right side. Say for an example, this is what the situation is, right? Apple, but then there are lot of space in the right side. What would you do? Okay, so length of apple with some space. How much is coming out? Can you see length of apple in the right side? Do remember, this is a tricky part. Okay, length of apple in the left side said how much? Can you see that? 9 character. But length of apple with the blank spaces on the right is coming out with how many character? 5 character. Do remember, it is the typical behavior of the length function. If you have some extra space on the right side of the string, it automatically eliminates it out. While counting, it knew that after apple there are continuous space characters coming that doesn't have any meaning. Had I only placed a over here, it would have computed the entire length of the string. Just see. Can you see it is computing the total length to be 15? But if I just take out the a, it will say 5. Can you see that? That means the length function has an inbuilt rtrim function available. What it does, any character, we know that after a string ends, any blank spaces, any empty field doesn't have any meaning. So length function, if you apply length function to a string with a lot of empty spaces towards right, automatically it will chop off. So only thing that you can remember, you have to, if you have to eliminate the right side field of the string, you have to leverage rtrim function. Okay, rtrim. How to test it? Testing is easy. Select rtrim, you use this rtrim function, whatever value comes out, copy it and then pass it to the length function. Okay, select length of that particular value. Can you see, if I apply the rtrim to do this particular thing, the string coming out is blank. That means it has eliminated the all the space from the right side of the string, right? And you can do the same thing. You can apply the rtrim, length of rtrim to this particular function, and it will compute it as 5. Why? And by default, length function terminates the eliminates the extra feed from the right. So that is the way it computes, right? Length and rtrim can be combined together. You can actually function chain any of this function up to n level. Up to n level means how many functions you can function chain. You can function chain up to 32 functions calling each other. Beyond 32, it will raise error. That is what the limitation in SQL Server. You can club together 32 function, one upon other, upon other, upon other, and after that it will throw error. It is an interview question up to how many label you can function chain. Up to 32 label I can function chain. Okay. Length function tricky part you have already seen. If you apply a length function to a string with some empty spaces at the right, length only count the actual string, not the right side of the string value. Okay, that is another tricky interview question. Similarly, if you want to eliminate both side of the data field, that means if both side of the string value, then there is a function available known as trim function. Okay, select trim. Trim is a upper version of the function that eliminate string empty spaces from left as well as right. This is what your function was. If you apply a trim to apple with empty spaces in the left and apple in the empty spaces at right, it will actually give you the return of. I'm copy pasting the value. It is giving me only the apple. It has eliminated all the space from the left and right. Okay. 3 types of string blank space removal pattern. One is L trim means trim the data, trim the blank spaces from the left side of the string. Trim the data from the right side of the string. Trim the data from trim all the empty spaces from both sides of the string. Okay. Sandhya, what is the question? Would you like to talk about what is concat? Why are you looking for concat? Sandhya, can you unmute and speak? Self-muted. Can you unmute and speak, please? Joining two or more string. Yeah, I know that, but why did we talk about concat? We are not talking about the concat yet. So in SQL, do you remember there is no concatenation operator directly available? Let's try. I have never tried it. Let's see whether it is available or not. Okay, it is available in this particular version. Let's see. But in SQL, typically, if you want to do the concatenation, there is a straightforward operator available known as plus operator. Okay, that is where we typically doesn't use any concat function. Yeah, but say for example, I want to do appl, then I want to add e to that. I will say plus, then my operator will be completely adding both the string together. Apple. Can you see that? I want to say apple plus elephant. Apple plus elephant. This particular operator is most widely used operator rather than the concat function. Typically in SQL Server, you will not write concat function. Okay, concat acts two parameter, two strings. Say for an example, you want to say concat in Postgre, MySQL, Oracle, it is available, apple and elephant. And it will merge both the string as together. This particular function is again a string function, but essentially if you see the string function, there is no listing of the concat function. Can you see that? Concat WS is there, but not the Uber concat function is available. We explicitly called it out. SQL Server say that because SQL Server and majority of the other product system as in Postgre, Oracle, and every other version has a concat function. It has provided a concat function that can actually merge multiple string. But the best way to merge string in SQL Server is a plus operator. If you want to merge both the string, use a plus operator in between, and then it will merge it out. Okay. Sir, in length, it will count space also, right? In length, it will count space. Yeah, it counts always count the space. Did we not check it? If you see here, length in the left side, it is counting the space. 9 character. Apple is 5 character. Lengths are 4 character space, right? So 9 character are coming out. So it is counting space, but it will not count space on the right. I have already spoken it. Sir, it will count. Will it count space on the right? We have already verified, right? In the length function, if you apply length function with space on the right, can you see that? It will not count. Can you see? It is counting 5. It will not count. The reason being, SQL is smart enough to identify there is only 5 character, and after that automatically blank spaces are there. If you apply a string with lot of blank spaces towards the right, it will eliminate all the blank spaces to the right and then compute the length of the string. So length with blank spaces at the right is length with rtrim on the string. That is how it is computing. Okay. So this is actually hidden. When you do this length of apple with blank spaces on the right, it is actually doing this internally for you. Or trim on the apple with the string on the right side, trim it out and then compute the length. That is what is happening hiddenly. Concatenate helps in positioning. It doesn't matter. Concat function helps in appending first string to the second string. Like I said, concat is not available. This is not a default function. If you see in the list, can you see a concat function anywhere? The concat WS is a different type of function. I will talk about it. Do you see concat function anywhere in the string list? This is the system function. That is where predefined SQL Server is loaded with the function. You don't see a concat function here, right? So let's not go by that. We'll talk about the concat function during our Postgre session. Okay. If you want to add string, stay by the plus operator. It's available, sir. Let's last below trim. Last below trim is concat W. Can you see that? It is not concat. Concat WS. Can you see that? Sai Vijaya in string functions. It is in string function. I am in the string functions only. Okay, fine. So now we have covered up to upper, lower, replicate, trim, length, rtrim, ltrim, concat. Now what about the left string? Now we'll do some substring operation, right? Now we have done the trim part. Now I want to extract out certain thing from the string. Say for an example, I want to extract. This is what my ambition is. I want to extract two character from the string apple. I want to extract what? I want to extract out two characters from the left side of apple. How do I do that? There is a function available known as left. Okay, left function. It helps you extract out string from the left. So it will need the parameter as string and then how many characters you want to extract from the left side of the string. I say I want to extract out two string from the left side of the string. It will take out AP. If I say 3, it will take out APP. If I say 4, it will take out APPL. If I say 5, it will take out APPLE. If I say 6, what will happen? There is no 6 character in this particular string. Will it throw error or it will actually return you the apple? It will always return you the apple. Left function never throws error. Do remember, left function helps you extract out number of string from number of string let alphabets from the string as mentioned. Say for an example, somebody has asked for extract of six character string from the string. It will actually try to see from the left. It will try to go towards right. If it finds only 5 character, it will return 5. If you ask for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it doesn't matter. It will only return you the maximum number of character that is available in the string. If I say 10, it will only return the same value. It will not throw error. I'm there is a meaning for it. Why I'm saying it is an interview question. Do remember, in left function or right function, left function extract the data from the left side of the string, right function extract the data from the right side of the string. Do remember, both the function doesn't throw error if it is going beyond the index. Total character length is 5. Maximum you should have extracted is 5, but if you go beyond your index position 5, still it will not throw error. I'm trying to extract 10 character from a 5 string. It is not throwing error. Okay, do you remember, it is an interview question. If I want to extract 4 character only, you have understood how to extract the 4 character from the left side of the string. The reverse of the left function is right function. Okay, reverse of left is right. I want to extract 4 characters from the right. Just a second, please. Yeah, I want to extract 4 characters from the right. So whatever you do, I will say right apple. Can you see what is coming out of the right apple? Right side 4 characters. Can you see up to this much? I want to extract out right side 1 character. What will come out? T will come out. So it will work from the right side, right? Apple. Right side is E. Then 2 characters will be LE. Right side 2 character. Okay, right side 2 character. Okay. Now I want to give one exercise. Let us verify. Okay, are you clear about the left and right function at least? Yes, no? Unmute yourself, say yes or no. Yeah, fine. Now I will also talk about one more string extraction operation and then we'll move to another part. Um, the most widely used function, the most widely used, and you may be using it 10 times a day once you land in a job. Okay, 10 times, not less than that. Okay, that function name is known as substring. Substring is also a character extraction string extrapolation function. Okay, left function extracts the data from the left, right function extracts the data from the right. Substring can extrapolate the data from any part of the string. Okay, what you have to do, you have to pass the first parameter as string. Okay, you have to tell from where you want to extract. The first character you have to specify, the second parameter. I want to extract from the position 1, and then I want to extract 2 character. That is how you are doing the substring option. What you are saying, substring in this particular string, go to the position 1. Position 1 is this. String's first character is position 1. Okay. Go to the position 1 and then extract 2 character. Then extract 2 character. Are you getting it? Substring function accepts 3 parameter. First part is the string itself. Second part is the string position where I want to extract. I'm saying you go to the first position of the character 1. Okay. And then extract 2 characters. Let's see what it does. Can you see AP? If I say you go to the position number 3 and extract 2 position. Extra position number 3 would be 1, 2, 3. So go to P and extract 2 character. So that means P and L. Is that correct? P and L are coming out, right? So substring function is a much more granular function where it gives you the control of exact position from where you want to extract and number of characters you want to extract. Okay. Then there is another function available known as char index. That is also important. Let me talk about that, and then it will be easy for you to start writing some exercise. Okay, let me start from top also. Let me talk about ASCII function. If you are coming from the computer science background, you must have seen about the ASCII code of a particular character string, right? Anybody can talk about the ASCII value of uppercase A? In computer science, the computer understands only some value set in numeric value, right? When you type a capital A, lowercase a, uppercase a, all those things, finally it gets translated as an interrupt, right? The interrupt computer understand from the ASCII value of the key set. Okay, ASCII means if you go for ASCII value of capital A, it will start at 65. ASCII value of lowercase a starts at 92. Sorry. 97. Sorry, I'm sorry about that. 65 plus 65 to 97. Yes, correct. That is correct. So the ASCII value returns a ASCII value of a particular character as per the computer science fundamental, right? That is what ASCII. If you have come from the computer science background, you have computer science or engineering background, you must have written a program to print the ASCII value of a character set, right? So if you want to know the ASCII value of a character set, you just pass the ASCII value and it will tell you the exact numeric value of the ASCII character of that particular character set. The reverse of the ASCII is char. The reverse of ASCII is char. What you do? You pass a ASCII value to the character function and it will return you the character. If you pass character of 97, it will return you small a. Can you see that? So ASCII and char are vice versa. ASCII character of small a is 97 and character value of 97 is a character value of an ASCII code is the alphabet. Clear about this particular thing? Now we'll come to the character index. Okay, do remember character index is the function. Char index is the function that returns the exact location of a character, the first occurrence of the character inside a string. So say for an example, in APPLE, I want to identify what is the location of P in this particular character string. Char index look for, I believe I have to supply it in a reverse direction, but let's verify. Correct, it is saying that it is not available. So character index work in a different direction. So it will say you look for what in what string. So what I'm trying to look for, character index look for character P in the string apple. Okay. So if you supply that, it will look for P in apple and first location would be this is the position 1, this is the position 2. It is saying the P is available in the character position 2. It will not later tell you how many character position of P available. We have done a similar exercise, I believe 2 days back, right? Character index gives you the character first occurrence of that particular character in a particular string. Difference I will talk about it. Left we have spoken, length we have spoken, lower spoken, ltrim spoken. In char is the same exact thing. Char and nchar are all same. Select in char of 97, small a. Okay. Only thing the nchar does is this. Let's see whether it also converts. Yeah, both are. It is numeric alphanumeric character set. Do you remember the char and nchar are two types of data type that support? If you supports a character value, you are saying that give me the character value of the ASCII code 97. It is saying give me the numeric alphanumeric character value of the ASCII code 97. The alphanumeric ASCII code value of the 97 is always there, right? Char and nchar both returning with the same set of data. Okay. Now coming back to the other function, pattern index. Now we have studied the char index. Can we go to the pattern index? You can see the select pattern index. Pattern index works a similar way. Look for the pattern index of pp in the string apple. It looks for a specific pattern. And when you are looking for pattern, you have to say pp percentage. Okay. Let's see whether there is any pattern known as pp percentage available in the string. It works like a like operator. Do remember, I'm saying the pattern starts with pp and after that anything is there, I don't care, right? But in this particular apple, pp doesn't start at with, it starts with a, right? That is where it is not finding anything. But if I say, do you see a pattern called as pp in apple? Anything before or anything after, I don't care, but I'm trying to look for a pattern called as pp. Can you see now it found that there is a pattern available known as pp on the character position index of 2, right? So pattern index accepts the percentile operator, right? And you can look for the particular pattern within a string. Character index look for a particular character. Pattern index can look for a specific pattern within a string as well. Say for an example, and it always returns the first occurrence. No, it doesn't return the next occurrences. Okay. There is another key important function known as the replace function. Okay, replace function is also a measure function where, say for an example, you want to replace in apple, look for p, replace with c. Can you see that? When the replace function accepts three parameter. First parameter is the string, second parameter is the value to look for, and third parameter is the value to replace with. So what it will do, it will look for the value p in apple, in the string apple. Wherever it will find p, it will replace the value with c. Okay. Now we have seen the replace, we have seen replicate, reverse. Okay. In case you want to reverse the entire string, there is a function available known as the reverse. If you reverse the entire string apple, it will entirely reverse the string and display. Can you see? ELPPA. The string is entirely reversed from the left side to the right. Left to right or right to left. It is reversed from the right to left. Okay. Reverse function reverse the entire string out. Right we have string, right trim we have some. Soundex. Soundex is the pattern. Do remember, you will never use soundex unless and until you are actually working on a data science project. Okay. Soundex gives you the synonym rhyming words. It will give you a soundex of soundex. It takes two parameter. Expression return soundex of ab. Okay. See, this soundex function is a very stereotype. Don't bother about if you don't understand. Soundex function is meant for giving you the soundex syllable of a particular string. It is used for doing our internal computation for finding out rhyming word. Say for an example, some rhyming one. Tell me some rhyming word if you know about some of the word that sounds alike. Anybody want to talk about? I'm just trying to figure out. I I have to give the right example. Like it is not on top of mind. Yeah, it is going to give you the sound X of two similarly liking thing. So I got one example from online. So this is what a sound X do. Okay. I want to verify whether these two words are alike. Can you see that? Juice and juicy. Can you see the sound X property of juice is alike the sound X property of juicy, right? So these are nearly related. Is that correct? The juice is coming out of the fruit. It feels juicy means it is coming out of the fruit. So it will identify these two words are alike. SoundX tries to find out what is the similarity between both the strings. That is what the property of a SoundX function. Okay. Find out the similarity between the string. If the SoundX values are nearly coming same, that means these are similar. That is how it computes. Okay. Can we compute the SoundX value of go and run? Let's see. Go is coming with G500 and run is coming with R. It is saying no, it is not alike. Whether run and running are alike, nearly alike because it is R552, it is R500, so it is not too different, right? Can you see? It is not too different. 500 to 552. So alike, nearly alike, I would say. Not exactly alike, but nearly alike. But do remember this particular example is nearly, this is exactly alike. That gives you the definition. Now, if I talk about the space, space is a function that actually gives you the data for replicating multiple space. Select space 5 times. Say for an example, I want to say space 5. Okay. I will say apple, apple plus space 5 plus apple. See what happens. I'm merging three string. Can you see? Both the apple and they have 5 space character in between them. Can you see that? If I say space 15, so the space function generate number of space characters. Can you see that? Apple and apple are too distant and in between 15 space character are appended. So space function generate extra space characters. str function, str of apple to error converting data type varchar to float. Why? str return the expression converted from a numeric expression. Okay. I'm just trying to see an example. So it is saying the string of 185. Let's see. Returns a number as a string. Okay. str function converts the number as a string. So by default, if you want to convert a particular numeric value to a string, then use the str function. Right? If you want to cast a particular number value as a string, then it will convert the 185 number as a 185 string. Okay. That is what the typical behavior of a string is. And it accepts numeric and floating value, both is accepted. So say for an example, you want to do this, that is also accepted. So it converts the 185.5 to a decimal number to 186 numeral, and then it will convert that 186 as a string value. Okay. If you compute this particular thing inside a single quote, you will see some space also appended to that particular number. So by default, it is converted as a string space value and 186 on the towards the left. So by default, if you want to convert a numeric value to a string value, then you can use the str function. String split function. If you want to split a particular string, then you can say select. I want to split string split. I want a string split. Okay. And my string is 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4. And then I want a string split at comma. And string split is actually a built-in. It is select star from. Do remember it returns a tabular value. This is the only function that returns a tabular value. Let's see whether it returns the value. Select star from string split. Correct. If you see, I have passed a string called as 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4, and I want to split each of the value as a row. Do remember you will be using this particular function so heavily, you can't forget it. Do remember every time you will be doing any data engineering exercise, you will encounter this particular situation where values are comma merged, right? Comma or semicolon merged, right? And your exercise would be you have to extract that particular columnar value and translate into a tabular value. That would be a exercise that you will be doing day in day out. If that is what the exercise is all about, what you need to do, call the select star from. Do remember string split function is not a scalar function, rather it is a table valued function. A function that returns result in a tabular manner is a table valued function. But it is a string function. Sorry about that. But it is a string function, and it takes the string and then it looks for what value that you want to split this particular string at. If for a value called as dot, there is no dot available in the string, so what will happen, it will return only the same row. Can you see, it couldn't split it? Why? Because it didn't find a dot in the string at all. If I pass 1 to the string, it would find 1, so it will split at 1 and remaining all go to the next row. Can you see, at 1 it split one value and remaining all went to the second row. Can you see that? Because 1 is splitted. That value that you are splitting, that will never be coming out. Okay, do remember. If you split at comma, the comma is not coming out. If you remember the example. If you split at comma, the first value is coming as 1, 2, 3, 4. The comma is not coming out. It is splitting at comma and taking out next values. Is that correct? Similarly, if you split at 1, the first value becomes, the 1 itself is taken out. It is not there. The first value is null. Second value is altogether this value. That is what you have to understand. Can you see, this particular value is gone and the remaining values are that. If I split at 2, then what will happen? The 1 comma will be one string and comma 3, 4 will be another string. Let's see. Because you are splitting at 2. Can you see, 1 comma is one string and comma 3, 4 is another string because 2 is taken out, right? Whatever value you are splitting at that particular position. What is the major uses of the string split? You will be needed to split a comma separated value to a multiple rows. That is what the need of using the string split function. Okay. Uh, how about doing one exercise by far? We have done so much. Remaining all are, I will talk about that. Let us do one exercise. Can you do one exercise to, okay, write a query. This is the query I want you to write. You have 5 minutes to complete. Write a query to merge to display pet name hyphen owner name. What do you need to display? You want to display the pet name from the pet table, merge with owner name from the owner table with a hyphen. Start attempting the question, please. Kalyan, ASCII is ASCII character. Let me show you what ASCII character means. I would rather insist you should go and study what ASCII character is. ASCII function is very rarely used in SQL Server. I can give you this particular thing for your own study. Are you seeing this particular table on my screen? This is the ASCII table that computer alphabet understand how the computer system runs. The character, can you see this particular? This is how the character matrix is defined. How your keyboard, when a keystroke happen, how computer understand that what key has been hit. Think about that. You are hitting a computer, but computer only understand zeros and ones, right? How does it understand when you hit a space bar versus a, whether a H, whether a D or something? When you hit a tab, it actually generates something known as interrupt, and the interrupt is translated into an ASCII value. Okay, when you hit capital 65, capital A, can you see where in this ASCII table 65 is? 63 is here, 64, 65. Can you see that when this ASCII value of 65 is generated, it is actually saying the character value is A. Can you see that? 65 character value is A. 97, 65 to next 25 character are all generated for the uppercase characters, right? 65 to 95, 90 are all uppercase. 97 till 122 all lowercase, right? This is what the ASCII matrix of a particular key configuration that you see on the keyboard is available. So ASCII function returns you the ASCII character set equivalent of a particular character. If you pass ASCII of A, it will return 65. That is what it is returning. If you see this ASCII function wherever I'm using, if I return ASCII value of lowercase a, it will return me 97. Let's go back to the let's go back to that particular diagram. If you see here, just a second. I actually somehow, yeah. Can you see that? ASCII value of lowercase a is 97. Can you see here? 90 is 97. Lower value of ASCII character is 97. Are you able to see this line? Whose question is? Kalyan, are you clear about this particular thing now? And if you want to study more, then take this link and look for this. It has nothing to do with the SQL. Do remember it is one of the thing that you should know being a computer science grad. Okay. What shift control line? Kalyan, would you like to speak up? Unmute and speak. Why you don't have a table, Sandhya? I have given this particular script way back. Can you get the script and run on your machine? Uh, Somebody has asked whether it will count the space in between in the concat function. Sorry, in the length function. Yes, answer is yes. It will count the length in between in the left side, but not on the right side. Sandhya, the query is wrong. But why you have you specified the pet name in a single quotes? I don't understand that. You have to explain me that. You have to unmute and say why did you say the pet name plus single quotes hyphen owner name. Your query is right. There is no question about it. You are doing that pet name and owner name. But then where is your remaining query? I don't want to say that pet name and owner name. They are into two different tables. It will not work. Where is your complete query? Anybody attempting or nobody is attempting? Can you unmute? I want to see whether you are able to understand the join queries because the solution is there in the join query. Okay. In the interest of time, I will not wait more. I will just show the query and then move on. Select star from. How do I do that? Select star from pets. Sorry about that. Pets. Inner join. Pet owner. Pets. I will give a small name as P. Owner. I will give a name as O. I will give the joining condition would be P dot pet owner equal to owner P dot owner ID. Pet dot owner ID equal to owner dot owner ID. Now because I have merged them out, can I now do the pet name P dot pet name plus uh, pet name plus I will say single quotes hyphen single quotes plus owner name O dot owner name. Now it will merge the pet name and the owner name together. Can you see that? Rumba, Charles, Simba, Ed, Keller, Paula. If you have not written the query, your answer is this. Okay, I have I'm looking for the questions on the chart window. Nothing, no more further question. Okay, now we'll look for the last important function known as stuff, and I will not talk about the Unicode. Unicode actually returns the Unicode value of a particular thing. You can try it out. Select the Unicode value. Again, it is again related to the computer science fundamental. Give a Unicode value of a 65, right? It is again nearly related to the ASCII only. And let's talk about the stuff because that is an important function. Stuff function actually helps you to do replace function internally. What would you do? Say for an example, you want to do a stuff of look for I want to replace I want to replace replace help. Okay, I want to replace help and look for position 1 till position 1 to 1 to position 5. Okay, look for position 1 to position 5 and replace that particular string with Sandhya. Okay, what it will do, it will look for this entire string. Stop function look for the entire string. What it will do, your string, that position between one character till the 5th position, I want to insert Sandhya. I want to replace the word I want to with Sandhya. Let's see whether it is actually doing that. Sandhya to replace self. Can you see that? I said I want to replace self in the string. I said the first position of the string that I want to replace is position number 1. From that 5 next character position, that means I want. That is the total string that I am saying. And what I want to append within that particular 5 position, I am saying you replace this word I want, whatever is there, insert this particular word Sandhya. Okay, that is what the purpose of a stuff function. Now I will stop here to talk about some of the math functions. Okay. Do remember these are some of the math functions available for your computation set, right? Say for an example, you are doing a project on a mathematical calculator and all this thing. If you have come from the mathematical or engineering background, you must have seen the sine, cosine, square root, cos theta. If you want to identify the logarithmic value, the floor function, this is the log function, right? If you want to do identify a log value of 2, log value of 3 or something, you want to find the absolute value of a particular number. You want to see the um, uh, asynchronous sign value, right? The sign hyperbolic values, or asynchronous tangential values, the radian value, the power of a particular number. These are the particular functions available to help you compute all those mathematical expression or the trigonometric function, right? So mathematical functions are basically used for those purposes. We'll see this mathematical function. It will come out in some of my example. I will not explicitly say because it will confuse you more than giving you any answer. And trust me, in my 17, 18 years of my career, I have not used much of mathematical function unless and until you have. I typically use absolute value of a particular number. Typically, I will tell you what you will be using. Absolute value of a number means it will give you the, say for an example, you are saying absolute of 23.3. Absolute value of a number is always a positive number, do remember. Okay, I will say absolute value of negative 23. I want to know the magnitude rather than the sign. If you provide a negative number also, it will give you the magnitude as a positive number, right? Absolute value gives always a positive number. You will be using the square function or square root function, maybe. So for example, you want to do the square function, tell me the square of a particular number, 5 raised to the power 2, what would be the value? Okay, oh sorry, I didn't use the square function actually. Okay, you no need to pass the raised to the power because square itself knows that it is raised to the power. Okay, 5 square is 25, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, right? That is how the square function works. 2 into 2, 2 to the power 2, 3 to the power 2, 4 to the power 2, 5 to the power 2, right? So the square function, if you call, then it actually do the 2 to the power raised to the 2 raised to the power 2, right? That is the square function. If you want to do the square root, you can leverage the sqrt function. There is a function available known as sqrt. If you want to identify the square root of a particular number, then you can leverage the sqrt and then say square root of 25. The number should come out as 5. 5 into 5 is 25. So square root of that particular number 25 will come out as 5. So these are the three major function you will be ever using in your day-to-day activity, unless and until you are in a mathematical project. Mathematical project as in you have to do some scientific study for a satellite or something. Unless and until you are doing it, you are not never going to use the mathematical any other mathematical function than these three are the predominant mathematical function you will be ever using. Now we'll come back. You have this particular thing. I can't go back and explain each of these things. I have shown you how to leverage it. So I would recommend go ahead and start using all this function and then ask me question that I have a particular question. Then I want to understand that. I will anyways give you a documentation of example for each of the function. You can study offline. Okay. But majorly whatever we studied from the string function, you will be heavily relying on those during the exercise. And I will take another series for only explaining datetime function that is coming during, let me look for datetime. We will be studying the datetime in the session 11, three session down the line. Okay, so I will explain the datetime function predominantly during that exercise. Now I will talk about some aggregate function. We did start with the scalar function. I will complete with the aggregate function. Do remember in SQL Server there are a few aggregate functions also available. Aggregate means what? You have to aggregate them out, right? I want to identify. Let us understand how many aggregate functions are available in the SQL, right? Predominantly these are our high frequency aggregate function. If you see, you will be using count more of. We have already seen the count function. We have seen the max, mean, standard deviation. Standard deviation P is a standard deviation for all the values in the provided list of expression. Standard deviation accept multitude of value, but then if you want to give some expression, also it will compute that particular value and give you the standard deviation of the expression. And then the sum function. In your day-to-day exercise, you will be using count, sum, max, mean, and standard deviation. I will give you the example for each of them. You can just run it and then find the answer. But let us see the high frequency use of the aggregate function. The count, max, mean, sum. These are the function that you will be every day maybe writing the code to find it out, right? Say for an example, I want to find out how many customers are available in my customer table. How do I do that? I will go write this particular query. I do have a customer table. So if I see, tell me how many number of customers are available in my customer table. So I use the code called as count function, right? Count is a function that you can apply to find out the number of occurrence of a particular thing. So there are 93 rows available inside my table. So it counted the number of IDs available within the column are 93 columns. Okay. Similar way, you can actually count the countries. We have seen this particular example in the last session. I want to say, tell me the number of folks from every country, right? I want to identify how many people belonging to every different country. So what do I need to do? I will go to the customer table, group by the country name, and then order by the order by the number of people coming as a descending. I want to sort them also. Okay. I will count them, I will sort them. So what I will say that in USA there are 15 people, that maximum number of people, and it is sorted. If you see this order by clause also doing the count function, that means I'm saying order by, first count it out and then sort them out. Okay. So it will count them out and then sorting them now. So if I want to identify how many of a frequency is available within a particular group, I can use the count function within that particular group as well by using a group by clause. If you want to actually leverage the sum function, I want to identify, tell me the total value, total spend by each of the customer. My question is, I want to verify, tell me the total spend done by each of the customer. I know I have a customer table and I have an order table. In the order table, I have the total amount available. Okay. So if I join both of the table on the customer ID to the order.customer ID, right? Then I can use a function known as sum function to total out all the purchase made by each of the individual user. So once I do this, what it will do, it will actually go ahead and run the query against all of my customer and the order and then sum the total record set. Going in a hung state. Yeah, finally. Okay, all 89 rows, it went ahead and sum up every unique ID. It only found all the 89 customer have made a sell done in my table, and for every customer it figured out the ID, first name, last name, and total spend done ever in my shop, right? In case I want to figure out who is the user who has done the maximum sell, who is the user who has done the minimum sell, I can write a subquery or a join again on top of this particular data to figure out that particular thing, and it will be given as some of the exercise you should start attempting. Okay, the function, if you see here, I have used the sum function. What does the sum does? Sum adds up value inside the rows to give you the summation of the number. Okay, and then we have leveraged the max and min function in the other session. The max gives you the maximum value of a particular thing. I think here I have given the average even. The same query, but with the average. I want to identify, tell me how much is the average purchase done by the customer. Average means what? Total value by the number of value, right? I want to identify, tell me the average value purchased by each of the customer. In the previous query was summing up all the purchases, right? If you went into the store and you have purchased 5 times $100 worth of purchases, then your sum function will give you 500 is your total spend. But if you use average function, it will say on an average in every widget how much is your purchase done. The total widget by total sum is going to be 100. So 100 into 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100 plus 100, 500. How many times I visited? 5 times. So my average purchase would be 100. So if you use the average function, it will return you the average of a particular number. Can you see the average sell done by each of the customer it is giving you, right? The sum will give you all the summation of data. Average will give you the total sum divided by total number of occurrences. You want to identify total amount of sell generated by a customer, right? How do you do that? Leverage the max function, right? This is the total value of the maximum cell ever generated by a customer. Let's see what is the maximum value. One customer has total purchase from the in one of the trade, he has purchased the value of 17250 as the maximum purchase value uh, from the store, right? That is the maximum value ever purchased from the store. If I change the same query to the minimum value, tell me the customer who has actually purchased the minimum amount from my store, right? Ever. What is the minimum possible value that is ever done? So $12 is the minimum purchase value from the store. Okay, so if you see the majority of the aggregate function will revolve around the count, sum, max, mean, and average. And why it is known as aggregate, we have already studied about this particular function in the last session, so I'm just repeating it out. Aggregate function are actually used in the group by clauses, majorly in the group by clause, and you can use the max and mean without the group by clause also, but they by default group the data for you. Even if you don't do that, they automatically group the data depending upon what you are trying to select. Here you are saying minimum of the total amount. You are not saying minimum of a particular user. If you have to say minimum of a particular user, you have to apply a group by on the customer ID. But if you are saying minimum value in the table, then you can use the minimum. If you want to say maximum value of a table, without a group by also you can use the maximum value. Count, if you want to count the number of rows, without a group by you can do that. You want to sum the entire value of a particular data set, without a group by also you can use it. But if you have to group them and sum them, then you have to use a group by. I want to know the maximum value purchased by a particular customer. Customer means it is the grouping operation. Minimum value by each of the customer, then it is a group by customer ID. Minimum value of cell generated per a country, group by country. Maximum value generated by a country, max of cell by group by country. Total value generated, total cell value generated per country, group by country, sum of the total value. That is how the scalar function and the aggregate function will be used in your day in day out job. Okay, I will take a pause here for any questions further. On function. What is on function? Can you tell me? Kalyan, unmute yourself and speak about it. What is on function? I am not aware about on function, to be very precise. If you can tell, then I may be able to explain. Kalyan, would you like to unmute and speak? Yeah.
So before you used hello.
I'm listening.
So before you used on for joining two names actually.
Correct.
The one you have given the example.
Correct.
So can you please explain why we use on there?
One is used as a clause for joining to table. On is not a function. Where did you see on as a function? Do you see on as a
No,
function? On
no,
is the
actually that's
joining
not.
operator here between both the table. On is the clause. On is not a function. Minimum is the function.
Yes, yes.
Okay, don't get yourself confused. Okay. Raifuddin, difference between decimal and float. I will talk about the data type, Raifuddin. You can hold on to the question for one more session. I will talk about it. Any other question, team? If not, then I will give you some exercise, or maybe I will not give you some exercise. You can practice tomorrow. Being Dasara, I will not send exercises. You feel free and start working on it tomorrow. Okay. Thank you, team. Happy Dasara, and we'll call it a day for today. I will send the documentation and all this example practice query, and also the document with all the examples so that you can practice offline as well. Okay.